Hello everyone, I'm Zandra Sunglum Burns, the Witch, and today we are setting up my second lunar logbook. So this is my first lunar logbook that I've been filling out all of this year, and as you can see, it's almost complete. I just have 2 more new moon chapters to go in this volume. I started at the Sagittarius new moon, and so I'll be starting my second volume at the Sagittarius new moon for this year, 2025. I just want to show you because this was my vision board for my very first lunar logbook vision board. And so we're going to get started with my second ever copy. I designed this book, and it's a planner in which you can live by the moon and plan your life by the moon, and it has sections for things like moon art that I just showed you. And it's undated, so you can start any time that you want, any new moon that you desire, whichever one's right around the corner or whenever you want to get started. I am getting started early for setting up my next one because you do need to fill in a bit of the practical stuff. So these pages at the start are what I'm going to focus on today, how to set up your months in this planner. And then by the time December rolls around, I will be ready to shift into this book proper. So if you have also been on your first lunar logbook year already, and now is the time to order your second copy if you'd like to keep going. You need to do that earlier than you think. And this goes for any planner. By the way, if it's a passion planner or like more of a you have to order it in rather than just like let's go pick up the latest moleskin, that's fine. Although even that, just get it early is my advice, because it might sell out, the shipping might be delayed. You'd like to be able to just pick up the next volume and get going, because it's really important. Planning your year ahead is really important, and I love being ahead. So let's get ahead together today. This is part of my Taylor Swift project, actually. So I am doing this Showgirl portal. Actually, Swifties, whether or not you know, we're in the Showgirl portal as I'm recording this. In the time between announcing the next album and that album coming out, that is a sacred space in which everything that has come before, this is the last time that we have with that before it gets recontextualized with the new project, which is very exciting. And it's so particular to this energy. It's like, we're never going to have this. We're never going to have these 11 albums as they stand ever again. It's going to change completely with the context of the new one. So I am celebrating that by revisiting each of Taylor's albums and creating an art project out of them. And so this is my Midnights project, is playing the album and setting up my planner. And that is just really special because it's also going to infuse the new planner with that mystical, mysterious Midnights quality. Okay. This smells really good. I was just setting this up because I was like, you can't see my candle. I want to take a picture for the thumbnail. All right, we're done. I already did a video going through my reflections on my deepest regrets from setting up this planner, what I've learned, what I'm going to apply to this. You can go find that. I'm not going to be doing the artwork just yet because it's not time for that yet. But what I am going to do is write in my calendar. So let's do that. So the first thing I did was I tested my black pen, and it was just a little bit scratchy. And so I got a fresh one because this is going to be really important. I'm writing down the actual dates. And okay, I just started a little bit. So I wrote November 20th because that's the first new moon that is going to be in this book. And then I'm going to fill in the rest of it. And I've used a Google Calendar where you can put the phases of the moon up. and know exactly when that new moon is. That's what's important for the way that I'm filling it in. By the way, you don't have to do it this way. You can just do a normal Gregorian November, but I like to have the full new moon cycle here for me to see. So I have the Google Calendar up, and I use that because it adjusts to my time zone. So sometimes, depending on where you are in the world, the new moon will hit on a different day. So this gives me the exact timings. Okay. I'm going to speed this up and put on midnights. Hello. It's me, editor Zandra. I'm the fixer. It's me because I was playing this back and I speeded up the clips of me writing in the planner, and I was like, what music do? I can't just leave you here. And I can't play Midnights because that's not my song. We've established that Taylor owns it. So don't be alarmed because I'm going to start singing just a little bit over each of the like planner parts. So hope you enjoy that. If you want more singing, there's more concerts and recordings on this channel. But it's just like little snippets just to share the midnights with you. Okay, enjoy the show. Staring at the ceiling with you. Oh, you don't ever say too much. You don't ever read into my melancholia. Okay, that took 5 tracks of midnights to set up the basic calendar pages. Hope you enjoyed that. Let me just walk you through it. So what I've done is I've started with the new moon as the first day, and then the day before the next new moon is the last day. But actually on the first page I made a mistake, and the 20th, I believe, is the new moon. Yeah, December 20th is the new moon. So I've written it twice. I just need to remember that in the next stage when I'm filling that in. It's okay. It's okay to make mistakes. I messed up the entirety of January the first time. Let me show you. I'm being very bold here in just doing this in pen. You can do it in erasable pen as well. That is allowed. I just like how it looks when it's in my calligraphy pen. But look, I messed up January, and so that's why they're all little black boxes. And then I wrote the dates in gel pen, and I think that looks cool too. So there are always ways to, these are opportunities for creativity, okay? That's the whole idea is you get to play. You get to play in this planner. So that is what I've done. I decided to take up more room in writing the name of the month because I found that does get a bit confusing when I'm making plans that aren't based on the moon. I'm like, what month is this? So making that more bold is a choice from last year to this year. Because before I was just writing Nov and Dec rather than November and December. I'm like, let it fill the line. Okay. The other challenge I came up against, this didn't happen all last year, this is just how the moons land, is that there are a couple of new moons that are on Saturdays. And so there should be one more day here, but that didn't fit. I could either put it up here on this Sunday, or what I decided to do is just put it on the next page and make sure that I delineate which day is the new moon, because once we're in that dark moon phase, I'm starting to look into the next cycle ahead as well. So it can be one day off on this page, and that's fine. We're getting into kind of advanced nitty-gritty stuff. But yeah, that happened twice actually, because there are 2 Saturdays. We have a 10/10 new moon, which is cool. But then I'm done. I'm done with the setup for 2026. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down when the new moons are exactly. And I'll do that, and I'll come back and tell you. And I lost you, the one I was dancing with in New York. No shoes, looked up at the sky and it was maroon. Okay, we're back. So I've just done that, and I've used a different website, mooncalendar.astro-seek.com, to get the full list of the new moons and full moons. And I like that because it also has the sign that those lunations are in. And there weren't any big surprises, actually. Like this year, 2025, we had 2 Virgo new moons, which I love. And the year before that, we had 2 Aries new moons, I think, which I also love. But nothing like that. However, it is nice to be able to put the signs and then the eclipses as well. So we've got a pair of eclipses here in Aquarius and Virgo. And then we have eclipses in the summer in Leo, and Pisces. So I like writing those in, as well as the exact times that the new moon and the full moon hit. And that way I can align my rituals as closely to those times as possible. And I'm not too strict about it, but it is helpful to know, is it going to be happening early in the morning before I wake up, or late at night after I go to bed? That's over the course of a day, that's a lot of time. So I like to know when it's happening, so then we can plan accordingly. And then during eclipses, I allow even more time either side. I was already allowing plenty of time after the eclipse happens. So for my moon rituals, I like to do them within a day of when they go exact, when the moon goes exact. For eclipses, I give that 2 to 3 days, because who knows? It's a mystery. But I've also learned now that's on either side. So start to anticipate the eclipse coming into it. And then one other thing that I did is, I know that I'm traveling during the first full moon of this calendar. Not the first full moon, one of them. I know I'm traveling during one of them. And so I just adjusted the time zone for that, just to be extra prepared. And then all of the others are in my current time zone here in Edinburgh. And then if I do travel, I can know to look that up when the time comes. So to start, I've just filled in the new moons and the full moons, and now I'm going to add in the quarter moons as well, because I work with those in my planner, especially the first quarter moon. I like to have all of my intentions and projects for the new moon cycle ahead set by that deadline. So that gives you about a week between the new moon, when you start to think about these things, and the first quarter moon. There you go. There's the first. Oh my gosh, what? That wasn't a heart though. That was a moon with a quarter in the middle of it. Anyway, whoa, magic. Okay, so by the first quarter moon, I like to set my projects, and I'll show you what that looks like. Is this lovely page here. These are my moon projects for the month. They could be your moon projects for the month as well, if you're using this planner. And I like to put sticky notes over them. That's why they're kind of sticky note shaped. And then when it feels right, and leading up to the first quarter moon, that's when I put those steps in place. So there's a little tip for you, is that let the planning of projects take longer than you think. Don't get stuck in it so that you're in planning stage forever, but that's why deadlines are good. And that first quarter moon, I can't do it on purpose. Oh, woo-wee! The first quarter moon is really good for that, of saying like, okay, it's time to go. It's time to take action. It's time to actually do the things that you have put in your lunar logbook. Okay, so let's go back to Google Calendar and fill those moons in. It only hurts this much right now, is what I was thinking the whole time. All right, I've done it again. So that was much easier filling in all of the first quarter moons, last quarter moons. Now every moon is accounted for. And actually, what I'm going to do is take a picture of the blank versions and put them on our Discord. So everyone who has a lunar logbook is invited to the Quarter Moon Club, which is what our Discord is called. And that's where we share things like our planner pages, how we're setting things up, what our lunar learnings are. That's where I'm answering questions as well and helping all of you out and getting your thoughts along the way. Oh, and the other thing that I did, you might have seen, was I just created a little more space for myself on the table, because here's a writing tip that I've learned over time. I figured this out as a kid, actually, is giving a place for your elbow to land helps you write more neatly. So if I'm writing like this on the table, that's neater than if my elbow is floating in midair and I'm just relying on my wrist. Hope that helps somebody. Okay, so now I have a decision to make. This is also easier if you're not like trying to read the calendar and film at the same time, because I'm just using my laptop to film. So the way that I set this up for last year is I just wrote the Gregorian month on the side because they pretty much lined up. Like March 1st was the day after the new moon. And so I just wrote March. And then I put the astrology symbols here. But kind of the moons have shifted into the middle of the month now for 2026. So I don't know if that will work as practically. I think I might go full astro here and write that the name of the sign on the side rather than like November. And then I'll use the colors to indicate what month we're in. Because for this current year, I've been using the colors to delineate what astrological season we're in, but I don't use that as much as I give it, as much as I center it here. I might just write when the sun changes signs in the calendar proper. So this I'm a little nervous about because it's new, the shape of your calendar. Yeah, okay. We're in this together. They said the end is coming. Everyone's up to something. I found myself running home to your sweet nothings. Oh, oh, oh. Ooh, it's coming together. So I have colored in the Gregorian calendar. I did this really intuitively, just based on whatever color felt like that month. Like December is green. We're just gonna go with that. I didn't overthink it too much. And my advice for the handwriting part of this is to just let it fly. Don't be too like, just boom, boom. Trust yourself. Practice that. I mean, you can get out a ruler if you want, but it's not my style. Also, if you're using a marker and a ruler, it might smudge. So, or you could use colored pencils, whatever. And then something that is different for this year is I decided to go with more of a scripty month writing. So I changed my mind from what I said I was going to do, because ultimately, practically, when I'm pulling out my calendar to make an appointment at the dentist, I'm thinking about, they're asking, well, what day in April, not what day in Aries season. So I decided to go with the Gregorian months on the side, but I've made them all cursive, and scribbly is just a style choice. And then I've written the symbol for the astrological new moon that we're in, rather than the seasons that it covers, because I realized I don't really use that. So this is a departure from this current year's, where it's I've used this magic marker style, and I've written the symbols for the astrological seasons. So it's just a little more, it's a little fancier. I only made one mistake, and I'm going to take it as divine because it was for the Capricorn full moon in June instead of, I just drew the line in the wrong place. But that's the moon that I was born under, is the almost full Capricorn moon, the waxing gibbous. So I've like circled my own moon by accident. Or was it an accident? Yeah. Am I done? I might be done. Yeah. So, and then other things is like when I've gone a little bit outside the line with these colors, I'm eventually going to go in with colored pencil and decorate each month as well. I've been doing that month by month this year, and I've not done it every month, but when I do, I just feel so much better about myself. And like the act of doing it makes me feel so much better. And then having done it also makes me feel so much better. So all in all, a good thing to dedicate time to doing that. All right. Anything else? Any questions? I guess all that's left for me to do is fill in the things that I already have booked for next year. And then I don't do much more setup for that. I take all of the weekly pages as they come. So I don't go in and fill in what all these new moons are until it's that day. So I just leave it blank, and then each week I go and fill in the weekly spread. By the way, I want to print a dated version of this so that you don't have to mess with all of this stuff. I'm embracing the opportunity that it provides, which is you can start with any new moon. But I understand this is an ordeal. So if you don't want to do it and you want me to do it for you, please support the project so that I have the funds to print dated ones. The thing is, I need enough confidence that there is demand for that. So if you want that, please comment and request it. Because first of all, enough people have to want it for me to invest in making it, because it's time sensitive, right? So this, I could use the dated ones forever, and ever more. But if I actually, did I just call it the dated ones? The undated ones. I can use the undated ones forever and ever more. But if it's dated for 2026 or for this solar new year, then I have to sell enough copies or they'll become useless, you know? So let me know if that's something you're interested in. And when there's enough interest, then yeah, sure, I'll make one. Okay, this is exhausting. And a lot of fun. So thank you for planning with me today. I hope this has been helpful. Let me know what kind of videos you would like to see here next. And to order your lunar logbook, go to lunarlogbook.com, and there's also a link in the description for this video. So happy planning, happy rest of the year. Oh, and by the way, I designed this shirt. Has anyone been to Six Flags Great America in Illinois? This is the Sacred Raging Bull, and it has some imagery of what's clearly the inspiration, like the frescoes that Mr. Bolliger and Mr. Mabillard were like studying when they created this shape of the hypercoaster. I don't know if that's true, but like, look at it. It's just, anyway, I'll put the link to this fan art, roller coaster fan art that I've made as well. And to find the rest of the Taylor Swift Showgirl Portal projects, a couple of them are on YouTube, but the whole thing is on Substack. So you can go find me there at zandrathewitch.substack.com. All right. Happy planning. See you next time. Goodbye.